Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博然。I'm at a special event here, the 7th annual World AI Conference here in Shanghai. Now, this is a really important event that shows off China's direction and also its achievements in AI. There's also some foreign companies on show here, including the Tesla Cybertruck, which was pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm going to take you guys around to have a look today. Let's get started. The World AI Conference opened in Shanghai yesterday with the release of an important document, the Shanghai Declaration on Global AI Governance, which helps to address the important issue of ensuring that the development of AI remains safe and ethical, especially given that artificial intelligence has the potential to cause harm to humanity in multiple ways. But before I get into the details, let's take a look at my report from the opening day of the WAIC yesterday, which Chinese Premier Li Qiang also visited. And when we come back, we'll also chat with Warwick Powell from the Queensland University of Technology and Senior Fellow at the Taihe Institute for his take. Well, this place is huge. There were thousands of people trying to get in before in the hot summer heat. It's 37 degrees Celsius here in Shanghai today. Now, we just took part in a media conference to find out some details for you guys. I've written some notes here. So the World AI Conference that's taking part right now features 500 enterprises. Now, they're mostly from China. Actually, 90% of these enterprises are from China here. 50% of them are from Shanghai. A lot of China's AI industry is based here in the city. About 40% are from other parts of China, and then 10% come from overseas. Okay, the first thing I've come across in the hall here is the Tesla Cybertruck, which I haven't seen in real life before. The funny thing is, I've heard it's really dangerous because of these sharp angles, especially if you run into someone on the street. It does look pretty dangerous. I wouldn't want to be in the way of this, but it also is really cool. I've seen this robot dog around so often, and it's so cute now I finally get to meet it in real life. Before, it shook my hand. I don't know how to do it again, but let's try. So cute. Hello. Oh, 我爽。Good boy. You're a good boy. 安宇。Now, the WAIC, the World AI Conference, isn't just about showing off all these amazing breakthroughs. It's also about discussing at a high level issues that relate to AI. So this year's theme is Governing AI for Good and for All, which talks all about, obviously, how to govern AI, how to set laws and make it good for humanity, I guess. Now, Elon Musk, he said that he thinks AI is the biggest threat to mankind today, even more so than nuclear war. So I want to find out what people here who work in the industry think. Let's check it out. Hello. 能不能问你一个问题？就是 Elon Musk 最近说这个人工智能是世界上最危险的东西，你怎么看？
那肯定没有人类危险吧？
技术对于人来说的话，我觉得应该是人如何去正确的、合理的使用这个技术，而不是说这技术本身是一个危害。对，我们应该是就是更加合理的去，或者说更加去懂得人去怎么去用这个。它相当于是只能是推动我们从工业4.0到5.0的一个加速的过程，而不能说它这个东西是能危害到我们人类本身。而且我觉得我们应该作为一个技术的管理者，去看管理者是怎么去以更智慧的方式去使用这个工具。
那我们怎么解决这个问题？你觉得？
我觉得需要追求一个全球公认的机制，让这个发展和危险能够以一定的速度同步发展，去控制风险。
I think this is actually a double-edged sword. Both as AI actually benefits us a lot. 就是比如说，它可以帮助我们 就是提高我们的工作效率。比如说，你写论文 essays，students are 非常的 bothering by essays， 但是你可以写得更快、更好，得到更好的分数，然后可以毕业去到更好的学校。
Is it cheating?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. 那么，因为我不是 AI 工作的，我不太懂。那 Elon Musk 说人工智能危险是哪一方面危险？
我们现在的那个从智能技术来说的话，它现在应该还是属于一个初级阶段，它不是说具备一个智慧的一个那个大脑，所以可能就是贵国的，就是马斯克他们可能会想到这个技术是不是未来它会变成一个就是能反过来吞噬人类，或者说机器人就具有主动的这个就是无意识，它就有自己培训出自己的一个 AI 智慧，这我怕这是他担心，或者说它更上层一层，他说会不会涉及到一些伦理道德这种事情，这可能就是技术发展到一定的瓶颈之后，他作为这种科研人员在这种意识形态上面要注意的一点吧。
That lady had a really interesting point. She said, people are more dangerous than AI. But I think the problem with AI isn't that AI itself is dangerous. Well, at least I don't think so. I think the problem is what people do with it. So actually, sure, people are more dangerous than AI, but then they'll use AI. Do you know what I mean? If they're bad people, to make it even worse. So I think that's what this event is all about, is figuring out how to govern it, how to set laws, to make sure that bad people can't use AI in a bad way. So I think it's very important. Great, welcome back, you guys. Now I'm joined by Warwick Powell from the Queensland University of Technology, who is also a senior fellow at the Taihe Institute. Warwick, it's good to see you again. First up, as I mentioned in my report there, one of the main goals of the World AI Conference, which is now in its 7th year, is to share China's progress in AI with the rest of the world. Now, yesterday, China released the Shanghai Declaration on Global AI Governance, which goes one step further, calling for a joint global effort to ensure that AI remains safe and is governed properly. Now, in the document, China agrees to strengthen the regulatory and accountability mechanisms for AI to ensure compliance and accountability in the use of AI technologies. And then it calls on the world to establish an AI governance mechanism of a global scope, keyword, with the United Nations at its core. Now, for me, this highlights the fact that China is kind of constantly pushing for a global community of sharing, working together, and mutual benefit. So how important is global participation in AI going forward? And do you think other countries around the world will follow suit?
Well, it's good to be back again, Andy. This is one of the most important issues facing countries and humanity in the 21st century. The lessons we've learned in terms of technology distribution, access and capability over the last 30 years has shown that there is a need for new approaches, which is underpinned by a culture or an ethos of openness and sharing, so that everyone, everywhere is able to benefit from technology developments and at the same time collectively address the risks and the challenges. So I think this is a very important stake in the ground where China once again is demonstrating a commitment to be a responsible global citizen and make sure that the developments that it makes, together with developments being made by others in the world, will benefit all of humanity and the planet as a whole, as opposed to simply being something that continues to line the pockets of a few.
Yeah, like I mentioned in my report, Elon Musk calls AI the greatest threat to humanity today. He thinks it's even greater of a threat than nuclear war. In yesterday's Shanghai Declaration, China agreed to promote the formulation and adoption of ethical guidelines and norms for AI with broad international consensus, guide the healthy development of AI technologies, and prevent their misuse, abuse, or malicious use. So I wanted to ask you, Professor, if you agree with Musk and what you think about China's pledge to prevent the malign use of AI.
Look, it's always a headline-grabbing call to say something is a greater threat to humanity than nuclear. I think we need to be a bit careful in doing that because we don't want to diminish the risks and threats that nuclear warfare actually do play. And unfortunately, in the current moment, there is a tendency to normalise the risks of nuclear conflict through language such as tactical nuclear, etc., etc. So I'm cautious about going down the path of labelling one thing or another as a greater or a lesser threat. With that said, though, I think it's important to recognise, and I think Elon Musk does this, that these kinds of technologies have inherent in them a whole range of risks that need to be effectively understood and managed. And in managing those, we need to be able to do it in a global manner. The simple reason for that is that unless you have a global consensus about how best to address the issues at stake, there will always be gaps, if you will, in the regulatory arrangements across the globe where malicious and malign actors will be able to exploit and do the kinds of things that the majority of people would be concerned about. So the need to mitigate the risk of, let's just call it regulatory arbitrage, is fundamental to humanity if we are to get AI right. And that means being able to find common ground around difficult and challenging issues that will really test the leadership capabilities of people around the world.
Lastly, in your opinion, how significant is the Shanghai Declaration of Global AI Governance that was released yesterday?
I think it was a very significant move, in part because it was addressed to the entire world, not just to the centres of AI technology development and leadership. It was a message that AI, if it is to make a contribution to humanity and to our care of the planet, if it's to do that, then it really needs to address broader issues of social and economic inequality. And so contained within the Shanghai Communique was clear commitments around North-South collaboration and capacity building, as well as South-South collaborations to ensure that no one's left behind and that the technology is accessible and available to people wherever they happen to be in the world. And that, I think, will be one of the most significant contributions of this communique.
Warwick Powell, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Absolute pleasure.
And that will be it for today, you guys. But as always, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Do you think that AI is the greatest threat to mankind? How does AI help you in your daily life? Do let me know down below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.